Today, the Mystic family grows a little bit bigger, and it's not what you'd expect. It's pretty unusual for us. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it. Cue the intro. So you guys might know that I love lizards, and I keep quite a lot of them. We got some tiny, really fast ones, like this Aki monitor right there. We also have some pretty big, fast lizards, like this Nile monitor right here. His name is Kyle, and he's fantastic, and we love him. Now, if that's not your cup of tea, we also have some potatoes, right? We have some lizards that don't move a lot, like this bearded dragon right here, right? His name is Chipotle, and he's a potato. A tiny potato at that. And of course, you guys know we also have some big potatoes like Cherry that you guys can see right here, doing a presentation for kids in their classroom. And lizards are among my favorite of the reptile family, which is my favorite family of any animal that exists. In fact, I'd say lizards would get top 2 right after crocodilians. If you guys know anything about me, then you'll know that I love crocodilians and I used to work with them, and it's just such a privilege to be able to be around them and interact with them, and they're so smart and I love them. And one day we will get a crocodilian, but that's not what this video is about. To get back to the ranking, it would go crocodilian, and then lizards, and then something that might surprise you guys. Of course, you guys might know I worked with some pretty big snakes before as well, and I have nothing but love for snakes. I love snakes. I think they're fantastic. They're really cool to work with because they're so placid and they're a little bit like a one-track mind dog type thing. Especially the big ones like Burmese pythons and reticulated pythons. They're fantastic to work with, and they're just like a big cold hug, you know? Also, I can't forget rhynchocephalians. Tuataras are fantastic, but they're alone in their genus, so they win by default. Rhynchocephalians and therefore Tuataras go to the top of the list, of course, because kind of a miracle that they still exist. But before snakes in my favorite list, I need to declare my love for turtles. And of course, you guys might know Sahara. She's our baby sulcata tortoise, and she will one day be very big and I won't be able to hold her like this. And turtles are really cool because they do a bunch of stuff that lizards just don't do. Like, a lizard is always really looking for something to do. These turtles just really like walking around sometimes, right? And they're kind of like a little bit empty-minded. Not to say they're not smart, because they are really, really smart, but sometimes they're just funny. Like, a turtle will never be a lizard. They don't have a bunch of the defense mechanisms or difficulties, you know, being tamed down as something like a lizard will, because, well, these guys hunt for a living and these guys, they eat hay. And that, of course, makes them great pets, because who doesn't want a wandering boulder or rock in their house? So this is why today I am so pleased to introduce you to the newest member of our family here at Mystic Animals. Right here, we've got a cool pen that's on the ground. It's an octagon and it is 4 feet across and 4 feet across, right? So pretty big space. Let me just step over the fence right here, and in this enclosure we have the newest member of our family. Her name is Cutie Pie. She's a cherry-head tortoise. 13-year-old cherry-head tortoise, actually, if I might be more precise. But the crazy thing about this cherry-head tortoise is that she is massive. Now look at the size of this turtle, man. This is not how big cherry heads usually grow. We definitely got a big one. And you guys will notice that her shell is absolutely perfect. There is no pyramiding on this surface whatsoever. That is exactly what you want to see, because here in Canada, I don't know how it is in the States or whatever, we have a lot of difficulty finding adult redfoots or cherryheads that are not pyramided to all hell. That would also be the case with like sulcatas and stuff like that, but like those are super rare, and they're like 2-3 grand when you go to buy one here, adults. So people tend to care for them because otherwise they won't get that money, so you know. But the crazy cool thing about this tortoise is that she is actually ready to do the birthday parties right away, as opposed to Sahara that would have needed a couple of years in order to get that big and stop being a fragile baby turtle, you know? But at this size of a tortoise, she isn't fragile anymore, and I might be sweating. You guys might notice that it is really hot in this room. This is a climate control room that mimics the conditions of the Amazon rainforest. And you might be wondering, how do you monitor these conditions? Because it might be difficult to track humidity and temperature and all that stuff. Well, you would think so, but it isn't, because we have Govee thermometers, and this isn't sponsored. I just really want to shout them out. We got the brand new thermometers. They're the smart thermometer hygrometers or whatever they're called, and they are great because they work Bluetooth with your phone. And we have 3, one in each room, and therefore we have the temperature and humidity wherever we go, and it even tracks the 24 hour. I hit myself in the face. The 24-hour cycle of all of the rooms, therefore you know what the coldest temperature your room gets, even at night or whatever, and you also know what the peak is. So by the time this video comes out, they will have been running for a few days now, but by the time I'm filming this, I actually put them up like an hour ago. So I'll put them on the screen right there, what my rooms look like, and these are my 3 rooms, and these might change depending on the temperature that's outside and the conditions that are outside, but that is what's interesting about knowing all of these statistics. And they're also super cheap. But back to the tortoise. You might be wondering, what does a tortoise like this eat? A bunch of veggies and fruits. So this is the bowl from this morning. I know it looks like garbage, but it's because she actually went in it and like put dirt all over. So I'm actually gonna take this away. But you guys can see there's sweet potatoes in there, there's apple slices, and there's also some spring mix. This is arugula and it's the best one, so yeah. And in terms of setup, it isn't much, but it is exactly what she needs. She's got a basking spot right there made of brick so that it soaks up the heat from right there. She's got a big water bowl that she fits in, but eventually she'll get a bigger one. I just need to figure out a ramp just so that she doesn't fall and drown or flip. And she also has a bunch of rocks as obstacles and a big stick as an obstacle so that she can go over, because she has a little bit of atrophy in her back leg muscles. It's nothing to be terribly concerned about, but she was probably living in a really flat environment, and it's no shade to the previous owners. Like, look at that. It's the most perfect conditioned tortoise that I've seen, you know, especially adult or 13-year-old, you know. But we did notice that she's having a little bit of difficulty raising her body above this much above the ground, right? And normally tortoises can stand pretty tall and go over obstacles. So that's why we did a lot of different height variations so that she has stuff to go over and like have to try to go over, because otherwise she's stuck, you know? But yeah, it takes up the entire room, and you'd be wondering, where is this eventually gonna go? Because it can't stay like this. And you'd be totally right, random hypothetical person. Regular watchers might be aware that we are working on some awesome tegu enclosures that are gonna be replacing these 4x2s. There will be 8x4s, so literally 4 times the space for each animal. But we've come to a decision, because in this terrarium, we have a gold tegu, and her name is Aurelia. Aurelia is about 14 inches long, which isn't that big compared to what the size of all the other tegus are gonna get, because they're black and whites and reds, and those get much bigger. So instead of giving her an 8x4 as well, we will be putting the red foot in the 8x4, and Aurelia is going to get the same exact enclosure that Edgar is going to get once we get his enclosure fully built. The timeline goes tegu, and then surprise project, and then Edgar, because these things cost a lot of money, and we can't just like do them all at the same time, because we would run out of money, or we would attempt to be everywhere and therefore not do any progress. So separating everything and giving a timeline seems like the most obvious choice. But anyway, he and Aurelia are going to get 6 feet long, so he's in 4 foot right now, so 6 feet long, 2 more feet that way. By 3 feet tall, he's in a 2 tall, so 3 here, right? So 2 of them stack on top of each other. By 3 feet wide, so right now he's in 2 feet wide, so add another foot, it is gonna go all the way to this side of the wall right here. Because he's got some space in the back right here as well, about 4 or 5 inches, you know, and it's because the rack is taking that space. But that rack isn't gonna stay there for that long because it doesn't really fit in with the new idea of the layout that we're gonna be doing. We'll just storage it or sell it. It doesn't really matter as long as everybody gets their enclosures. Now this next part is just bonus because I'm super excited because I finally got myself a pressure washer. Now it is electric, but it is 1800 PSI, 1.2 gallons a minute, which is 4.5 liters. It also has a soap dispenser, but the soap that they sell isn't really safe for reptiles. But according to Reddit, if I dilute Dawn dish soap, it's safe. Now the thing comes with 3 attachments. The first one is kind of cheap. It's plastic, but it's for the soap and for things that you don't want to damage. But I'll be honest, my hose does more pressure than this. Then you get to the medium one, which is flat, and this is where you can really start to power wash some things with this. Look at the damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Now the third one is called the Tornado, and I just don't feel comfortable using that thing inside because, as you can see, you can really start to do some damage to material with this.
That's a lot of damage.
But anyway, that's gonna be the time for me today, guys, because I actually have a very busy weekend ahead of me, and I won't be here for most of the weekends, so I don't want to give myself a 25-minute video to edit. And even then, how much information can you pack inside of a new animal video, right? It's a cherry head, it eats veggies, do your research. It's not care guide. And if you guys really want to see me feed her, then I guess I'll do that in the next episode or something. But this is the temperature of my room and the humidity, so feel free to copy those parameters for any of those 3 animals because it works really well. They shed fantastically compared to even I've seen some people keep tegus outside, and when they peel them, it's like my tegus peel wet. And what I mean by that is the skin, when I'm peeling it off, it's wet. So like there's no resistance. It's just flaking off. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to hit that subscribe and that like button because it really helps us out. Also, that bell notification thing, click that. Because the sooner after we post the video that you click on it, the better it is for our stats. YouTube boosts it to more people, and that's really important because we're just about 3/4 of the way to the race to 1,000, and we couldn't have done that without you guys. Also, first link in the description is the Discord server. It is a place where you guys can interact and ask your questions and answer questions of the day and share memes and do all that fun stuff, all for free in the first link in the description. My name is Matt Zephyr from Mystic Animals. This is Bean, and we'll see you later. Peace. Thank you so much for checking out this video, everybody. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button, and if you really loved it, why don't you subscribe? It's free, you know?